part of your skills lab for the aerosol delivery. They do deliver aerosol, but that's not their only job, okay? So step
Okay, is
one
that
of your
nice and
guys'
snug?
kind of role is to determine what devices you might need for a patient, okay? And so if you just need to deliver aerosol or medication, we have all of those devices, right? So if we see one of these orders, or if we're starting to bring these up in conversation, it's gotta be more than
Let the
just
fun
delivering
begin.
medication, okay? So we'll start with the Medinif. This is essentially gonna have 3 different therapies that it can do with the same device, okay?
Nice and easy.
And so we'll start with this first one. CPEP. Any guesses for what that is?
Okay, well, we went over it last week, students.
Positive pressure.
Close, yeah, that's good, that's good. We got some right words. Close words.
Nothing.
So,
Lesson over here.
constant, continuous, that works, okay, same thing. Positive, expiratory pressure, okay? So PEP therapy is something that you guys will learn about, and again, it falls more into like bronchial pulmonary hygiene, okay? But this is essentially one pressure that your patient's going to be blowing against, okay? So when we say positive expiratory pressure,
Again, just
that's what we're talking
normal,
about.
quiet
Okay?
breathing.
So when you turn it on, you hear one pressure, right? So what we use this for is, with both of these devices, if a patient's able to use a mouthpiece, they keep their mouthpiece on, keep it sealed, and they breathe right in and out of the device, okay? And so this patient is gonna have to breathe in against this pressure and blow out against this pressure, okay? So when they breathe in, gives them a little help, right? The little flow that's going the same direction. When they blow out though, they're blowing against a pressure, okay? And so that back pressure resonates through the chest cavity, down to the lungs, and what it does is it helps stabilize the alveoli, and it helps open some back up that are maybe closed down. Okay, so PEP therapy with this is really to help with oxygenation. Okay, so we're trying to, 2 words you want to remember:
Good.
de-recruitment and recruitment. Okay, so
Again, just
anytime we
nice,
lose
normal
volume, or we
every now
have
and
parts
then.
of our lungs that collapse, we say that the lung is de-recruiting. Okay, so in order to fix that, we need to recruit the lung back. And so this extra pressure can help with that. Okay, and so if we start popping open more of these alveoli that are closed, now those popped open areas can now participate in gas exchange. And so we should see like better CO2 removal, better oxygenation. Okay, so the first
Now on this
therapy
one, you're going to turn your
is
head
PEP.
side to side.
Okay, so that's the first thing this device can do.
Nice and easy,
Okay, just
when you're saying
can help
that.
the person to open up their lungs a little bit better.
Okay.
The amount of pressure that we deliver is going to depend on the flow that we have set. So if we give the patient more flow, it's going to give more pressure. Okay, less flow, less pressure. And you can kind of hear it,
Nice and snug everywhere.
right? Less flow, more flow. Okay? So that's the first
Okay, relax your
therapy that this device can give. Second one, you guys filming this, what's this?
The ventilator.
Medication.
Yep, so it's a little picture of a Neb looking thing, but that's gonna be where we can deliver medications to the patient.
All right, so
So
relax.
you have a little Neb
We're
cup,
gonna do that again.
okay, and it'll be aerosolizing if you have medication in there. So, last therapy.
Nice and easy.
So this is oscillations, okay? So a little burst of air, okay? And you have 2 different settings here, okay? So you have this one, which is a little bit quicker. And you have this one, which is a little bit slower, okay? Typically, the slower bursts are associated more with like breaking up secretions, where the faster ones are kind of designed more to mobilize or move secretions, okay? And so when you're giving this therapy, depending on what's ordered, you would probably go through all 3 of these for a patient.
And they'll be like coughing during.
Yeah, and probably want to pause it too and have them cough and throughout it as well. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit more when I get into this. But those are the 3 things that this can do, okay? So, recruitment, or keeping the lungs stabilized and open, medication delivery, and then oscillatory burst for secretion removal.
Relax.
Okay, so
We're gonna do that
we're trying to
again.
help get those nasty junk out of the patient. Okay, so 3 things here. Typically, you usually see this just mouthpiece for your patients. I'm assuming there's probably some type of an adapter that you can have, for a trach patient. They had to do that. I'm not quite sure. I don't think you can put this on a ventilated patient though. Okay, this one you can. You can use this on all kinds of different patients. Okay, so let's go to IPV then. Okay, so Metaneb, okay, IPV, same thing.
All right.
Why you would see one over the other is probably just who had the better salesperson. Okay, unless I'm gonna be honest with you, or they have a need. Like say for instance CRMC, they have a burn center. Okay, well if we have inhalation injuries or we have thermal injury, burn injuries, whatever it is to our airways, and we know that we're going to have mucus, inflammation, swelling, edema, dead skin cells breaking off, right? We need to get that stuff out, right, of those patients. Why?
Because it's blocking their airways.
Because it could occlude the whole airway, right? And so if that stuff gets real thick and nasty and dry, we call that a mucus plug. And if any place past the plug is not going to receive gas anymore, so all that part of the lung can collapse. Okay, and so if you had some type of specialty unit where you know that those patients are probably going to be using this a lot, then that could also go into why they would choose, these devices to be used. But IPV, you definitely see this a lot. Okay, and then again, you can run this in line with a ventilator as well. Okay, so just to turn on so you guys can kind of hear it before we get into it. So very similar. Okay. So this one, there's more of a protocol that's kind of geared with this, okay, and that's what I'll kind of describe for you guys. This should last, probably both of these should probably last about 20 minutes or so, okay? And so it's a therapy, right? It's not a checkbox, just something to say that we use this. We're trying to use it for a purpose, right?
Now
And
you
so
get to do it again.
this device, you can deliver medications as well. You can see like a neb thing, right? Looks like some type of nebulizer type of thing. So you can deliver medications, but you don't have to. You can put all saline in here and still give IPV treatment, okay? Because again, it's going to help with secretion removal, okay? So deliver medication, you still get the bursts, right? The percussions. Now this is an older IPV. They have a newer IPV that does have this PEP setting as well. This one does not though, okay? I want to say on the new one it's called Demand CPAP, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's the same idea. It's for recruitment, keeping the lungs open, making sure that if they're on some type of support and then they use this, right? Like let's say they're on a BiPAP or something and then they need this.
Now you stop,
So
and we're gonna do
we can put that
quiet
PEP
breathing.
level or that Demand CPAP level on here, same level as what they're getting with their other devices, so we know we're not losing any recruitment, okay, while we're using this. So the newer one, it should be blue. It's got like one extra valve on it, okay? Now, hearing this, is that how you guys normally breathe? So it might be a little weird for people at first, okay? So what we want to do is we want to transition them and try to get them used to this device, okay? Because essentially what they have to do, there's a mouthpiece, right? You have to keep that seal and you have to breathe normally while this is happening. Okay? So that might be weird for people. So what you want to do is you want to put the working pressure, or what they call the operational pressure, low at first. Okay? And you want to get them used to this. Okay?
What you
So
need to do,
when we see some of these
when you
knobs,
go home, take this
we're going to have
one,
operational
put it in a
pressure,
Ziploc bag, or a brown paper
percussions,
bag,
you have your
save it for
on-off
first aid
button,
clinic.
and you have a
We're
manual
gonna grab 2 more
inspiratory
masks.
button. Okay?
okay, and just
So,
keep them in their
how you wanna
thingies
set your pressures,
until-
because when this is going,
Let's
right,
see. So
it's bouncing
this
like that. So how do you know where it's at, right?
when you're out in clinic,
You wanna
you're
push
gonna wear
this,
a mask like this.
and it'll give you
over
a
that.
constant pressure.
This is the mask you change out.
So
between
now you,
cases.
with this held down, you
Then
change your
inline
operational
device
pressure,
will roll out.
okay? And so since we want them to get used to this, we wanna turn in maybe like 10 to 15 centimeters of water pressure. Okay, so we'll just turn this down. There's 20, I'm just gonna go down to 10.
No, the hospital.
So here's 10.
Well,
Okay.
these are not.
Now this is all, you're strictly doing this just to get them used to it, okay?
Yeah, but.
So right now, we might just have some saline or something in there, and we're just having them get used to how this device is working, okay? Once they say like, oh, I'm used to it, I get it, I understand what I'm supposed to do, I understand why we're doing this, right? You're talking to them about all that, they get used to it. Okay, now we're gonna start your therapy, okay? So I'm gonna turn up the pressure a little bit, you just keep breathing in and out of the device, okay? So while they're holding this, right, you can turn it off, or you can just tell them, okay, we're gonna change it. So then you change the pressure into this working zone right here, that's marked for you, 30 to 40,
Thank you.
okay?
So just this one's next Thursday, right?
And now we're gonna turn this to easy form now, okay? So we always wanna start off on easy, a low pressure, get them used to it, and then once they say they're good, then we start doing our therapy, okay? So we have it in between 30 and 40, we have it on easy, okay? This percussion rate is just like the clock, okay? So if you wanna think about it where this arrow is, like right now, we say it's 12 o'clock, okay? So we're gonna start at 6 o'clock, and then we're gonna work our way around the clock, basically, okay? So the idea behind this is to give a little boost or a little session of the percussions, and then have them huff cough 3 to 5 times. And then we're gonna go up on pressure, 5 minutes again, take a break, huff cough 3 to 5 times, keep increasing pressure all the way through the clock, okay? So we'll turn it on, here's their first 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes is up. Okay, let me get 3 to 5 nice strong huff coughs. Okay, you guys remember what that is?
The strong coughs,
Okay,
the coughs that you use from your diaphragm.
So diaphragm, and then they typically want you to try to keep your glottis open. Okay, so like instead of contracting like your vocal cords and everything, they want you to try to keep them open and cough. Okay, so yeah, and so like a real easy way, just if you want to try it at home or whatever, try to like cough right on your own. Just do it on purpose, right? But then try to almost like the way I think about it is like almost try to say the word huff while you're coughing. And if you can do that, then usually your glottis is open and you're coughing. Okay. So it sounds weird, but just practice it at home, okay? So try to huff and say hop at the same time, huff at the same time, and you'll be huff coughing. Okay? But you do that 3 to 5 times, it'll help move more secretions out of the large airways. And then you say, okay, we're gonna start our therapy back up, you ready? Okay, so then either way you wanna do it, you can either make your change right now, but we go quarter current. Okay, so if this is 6 o'clock, our next pressure is gonna be 9 o'clock. Okay? And then we turn it back on. 5 minutes here, okay? So, again, if you wanna maybe get them used to it, instead of just starting at a different pressure, you could be like, okay, this is where we're at, okay, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit for you, okay, we're gonna start our 5 minutes. Okay, and just let them feel that, okay? They might not even feel anything, okay? But 5 minutes, tough talk, okay? Turn it again. 5 minutes. Take a break. Huff cough 3 to 5 times. Turn it again. Okay. Every quarter turn, we're doing 3 to 5 huff coughs. Okay, until you basically get done. Okay. And again, the reason behind that is just to help try to break up and then mobilize the secretions. Okay. Now you can give medications in here, right? So you can be like giving bronchodilators, you can be giving mucolytics, you can be giving all your other meds. Okay. But again, the idea behind these is that you have to do a little bit more than just medications, and so that's why we want to use these. Okay. So secretion removal is big. Why Why do you think that, why are these devices making those weird noises? What's the purpose of that?
It's pushing out the air.
Say,
It's pushing out the air.
pushing out the air, okay? Okay. And so just again, visually, I think I might have drawn this for some of you guys. But
Be totally different.
if this was your airway,
Okay,
right, and let's say
so
you
no
have
quiet breathing.
this piece of big mucus right here. Okay, what's eventually gonna happen is these little bursts, right, are gonna go here, go around this, go down the middle, start coming up the outside. Okay, and then typically right here on the outside is where, when they hit this, they start breaking off little parts. And then as this flow keeps going up, it keeps taking them out, okay? So that's why I was telling you guys that if there's, I don't remember what it's called, but it's something about mustard and a test lung, okay? And they basically fill this up with mustard, and then they put on the device, and you actually get to see this process happen. So without doing anything, right, you start seeing this mustard moving up the tube, okay?
Now, every now and again.
So, but that's the idea behind the flow. And we draw straight arrows, but really like this is kind of going like spherical. I don't know if that's the right word, if that's a word at all, but that's like circular, going down the middle, and then it comes up and around the outside.
Okay.
So it helps take it, whatever in its way out with it, okay? So, you will see these on the floors, you will see them in ICUs. There is, with this, there's a critical care version of this, which is a high frequency mechanical ventilator. It's called the VDR4. It's another really good device just to look at, okay? And I think if you look up the owner's manual, you can just, if you literally just Google this right now, like usually the first thing that pops up is like the user manual. There's a lot of good physiology that explains why these devices work and things like that. So if you're ever bored, not that you guys don't have enough to read already, but that's something to look up, okay? Because it really does help you guys understand what's happening behind the scenes. That's all the teaching I really have. Only other thing